So, you want to learn how a placement glitch? Well, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to perform all the placement glitch techniques, including both ground and cliff stacking. To clarify, this is for the people who play with a mouse and keyboard, so sorry mobiles and Xbox players, whoever you are. This will be a somewhat verbose video, as I want to give you guys the necessary knowledge to become an excellent placement glitcher. And before I begin, I highly recommend that you buy the size changing game pass, as it makes placement glitching a whole lot easier to do. And sometimes it's impossible to do certain placements without it. Now, straight to the point. Every tower has an inner and outer hitbox. The outer hitbox is this big red square that prevents you from placing towers too close to each other. So as you can see, I'll try to place a tower and it won't let me. And luckily, this outer hitbox can be easily bypassed. But there's also the inner hitbox, which is a smaller, invisible sphere that surrounds the tower, and is unfortunately impossible to bypass no matter what. So this means that with placement glitching, you can only place a tower close to another tower, but never like in the same exact spot on top of a tower. Now, I can show you how to bypass this outer hitbox. And let me explain a little something that I call the mouse cursor. Yeah, it's this thing that every PC player uses to place towers. The game will perform a check to see if your mouse cursor is allowed to place a tower at whatever location you're trying to click. So as you can see, I can place a tower here, but it won't let me place a tower here. However, if you select a tower with your keyboard, you notice that the tower and cursor have detached from each other. It'll reattach once you move the cursor again. But we can use this trick to do placement glitches. And I will demonstrate to you personally how to do the ground placement glitch. So first, you're going to want to set your size to small if you have the game pass. You don't need a game pass to do it, but it's a whole lot easier. Next, you're going to want to glitch your cursor underneath this red square so you can place a tower. And you can just do this by putting your camera into the ground like this. Now, you're going to want to place your cursor where you want the tower to be. So I want my tower to be here, so I'll put my cursor here. Then make sure that when you select the tower, you do not move your mouse at all. So I'm going to select the shotgunner. Once you've selected your tower, you're just going to walk away until your cursor is touching a legal placement area. Then hit left click. Boom! That's how you do the ground placement glitch. Now you've got two shotgunners closer to each other than they're supposed to be. You can probably imagine how useful this glitch is, as saving space is great for towers with limited range or have giant hitboxes. Notably, there are some exceptions to this inner hitbox rule, such as the plasma trooper. This is because at level 4 and 5, this humanoid guy is moved onto the top of this plasma tower alongside the inner hitbox, which is centered at his torso, I believe. And so that means you can place another plasma in the same exact spot, allowing you to stack as many plasmas as you want in this one position. The steps to doing plasma stacking is almost the same as your average ground placement glitch, so I don't think I find it necessary to, teach you how to do it. Before we move on to cliff stacking, I want to show you how to place towers inside the road, which all you have to do is kind of clip your camera inside the road like this, and then it's basically the same steps as with a average ground placement glitching. You just do this, boom, we got a road gunner. Next up, cliff stacking. The hitboxes work mostly the same as ground stacking, but the methods are completely different. We have two types of cliff stacking, top stacking and side stacking. What are those? Well, top stacking is stacking cliff towers on the tops of cliffs, while side stacking is stacking cliff towers on the sides of cliffs. Is that so hard to understand? Let's go over top stacking. So, yes, the ground placement glitch method is, it technically works, I guess. But there's way better stacking techniques out there. You're going to want to go into your settings and turn on camera toggle and shift lock. Now, this new camera mode might be a little bit weird to use, but basically all you have to do is right click and you can toggle between modes. Now, what's special about this mode is when you go into shift lock and right click, you can actually freely move your mouse while in shift lock. And so with that out of the way, let's get stacking. So first of all, if you're using rails, you're going to want to go for level 4s because it moves the rail character upwards and also the inner hitbox, which makes stacking a lot easier. You might wonder if the level 5 rail is even easier since it moves the rail gunner up even more. Actually, with some testing, we found that it's just a little bit slightly harder to stack than the level 4 rail because it's bigger. The inner hitbox seems to be mostly the same. Moving on, the next step will be clipping your camera inside of this red square. Normally you can't look inside, so you have to clip your camera inside if you want to do that. All you have to do is play with the sizes until you find the one that works. Using the normal size, I'll be able to look inside this red square, and so I'm going to hit 2, and as you can see, I can look inside. This is going to be very precise. I'm going to spam click while slowly moving the rail further away until I find the perfect spot. And there you go. That is how you stack rails. And so you have to remember that a lot of cliffs are at different heights. So like this one is a lower cliff, so you're going to want to use different sizes for different cliffs. And if none of the 4 sizes work, which is kind of a rare scenario, you can like try to stand on the cliff to try to get your head inside of the red square. Additionally, you should note that when you cycle through your sizes once and go back to normal, your camera will be like positioned a little bit lower in height, and if you reset, it will go back to the normal height. I'm not sure what causes this, but you can use this in certain situations where you need your height to be a little bit lower but not so low that you need to go into the small size. The next technique I've got is side stacking, and this one is pretty simple. You can turn off camera toggle. Basically all you have to do is go into shift lock, select your rail, and go into the side of the cliff, and you can place your rail like this. Boom, that's basically side stacking, and I'll just upgrade this rail here. Yeah, it's very simple, but it can be pretty difficult to master as you want to try to get those rails as close together as possible, and that's what really counts. Now, since these cliffs are pretty short, you can just use the small size. But for cliffs like these that might be a little bigger, you might want to go with like a bigger size, or better yet, stand on the cliff itself and use camera toggle to try to look inside. As you can see here, I've placed a rail in a very strange spot. Alright, so now for reference, I'm going to play a full game where I stack as many rails as I can, so you guys can use it as a guide to practice off of. So first, I'm going to start my stack with placing a rail exactly at this, I don't know what to call this, corner here. Let's see how close I can get, so maybe too close, come on. There you go, and then I'll place another rail here. Now, because that seems to be the right size for this. Okay, that took a really long while to get the rail, but there we go, we got it. And then I'll place another rail right about here. Let's see. Oh, okay. Alright. I get as close as I can to make this easier. So, how close can I get this rail, huh? This is all about accuracy and precision. Oh, okay. Now you might be wondering, what if I need to max my rails solely because I need defense and I can't spend all my time stacking? And I'd say, like, if you have to max them, then max them, but like, if you don't have to, then you don't have to. What am I even saying? You don't have to? Of course you don't have to. Sometimes I have to stand on the side of this because there's no other way to place down my rail. Let's see how close I can get, huh? Alright, so now that we've got all the rails on the tops, we do the side stacking now. So I'm gonna turn off camera toggle because it's not necessary for this for if I can. Let's see if I can get like a little bit here. Oh yeah, this is probably the best spot I can get. You're too close, huh? I probably won't need to get too many rails. Alright, hang on. I had this spot here. It's a pretty good spot. I'm gonna try to side stack as many as I can. Alright, so pretty cool tip if you want to make sure you got all your rails maxed. You just want to hit Q, and when you hit upgrade tower, it's gonna make the GUI disappear. And so, you know, once no more towers are highlighted, that's how you know that you maxed out all the rails. It's hard to upgrade these rails, but all you have to do is shove your camera in the railgunner's face, and then you can select it. But there, as you have it, these are my rails. All my rails down. And so basically, you just have to practice doing stacking as much as you can if you want to become good at it. And once you do, it really does pay off because being able to squeeze so many rails in such tiny space can make such a massive difference. Now let me showcase the final secret cliff placement glitch, which I call inside glitching. Get it? Cause I'm placing towers inside the cliff. Ha 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 ha. Alright, I hope you guys watched the entire thing, because if you didn't, then that'd make me kind of sad because I stuffed as much information as I could into this video while trying to keep it concise. Anyways, tell me how your stacking is going in the comments, and I'll see if I should make more cliff stacking guides. I'm Super Z, and thanks for watching.